Jeffrey thinks that discipline is something that you just develop, but he never understands why he always fails to curb his addictions to entertainment, junk food, vaping. But then there's Adonis. Adonis understands that you can't just be disciplined in order to remove all of these addictions. And he understands that he needs willpower. Willpower is something that is developed, and he's able to slowly cut back on his addictions and be happy with his life. In order to be disciplined, you need willpower. Willpower simply is the ability to remove these desires from your brain in order to remove short-term gratification for long-term gratification. You need willpower for everything. And there was an experiment done with 5-year-old kids where they would give one marshmallow for anyone. There was a marshmallow experiment done where they would put kids in a room and place one marshmallow on the table. Now the kids could have that one marshmallow now, but if they waited for about 15 minutes, they would get 2 marshmallows. And studies found that the kids that took the first marshmallow, that basically had no willpower at all, they turned out to be less intelligent, more fat, and overall less desirable. Willpower is the tool that you need in order to stay disciplined in what you do and to maintain that long-term vision. The issue that most people think though is that willpower is something that is just generated from thin air. But the most important thing is that it actually is more like a muscle, and in that sense, the more that you work on that muscle, the bigger and stronger it gets. So think of willpower as a muscle. It's something that needs to be developed and can't just work based on where you have it now. It needs to be progressively overloaded with more stress to actually resist more pain. Willpower controls everything you need in order to stay disciplined and to actually control yourself when these desires come up. Main thing they found though in the experiment was that the kids will always indulge in the instant gratification when they're either sad, lonely, or bored. Now think back to yourself when you have an impulsive moment. There were often times when you weren't rationally thinking and actually in a state of sadness or laziness or tired. That's the main reason why our emotional guard is lowered and actually makes us more impulsive to take the less positive outcome. Think about when you just finished work. There's heaps of traffic, you're tired, you feel lazy, you don't want to cook. And then you see the Golden Arches, a little drive-through. And then you think to yourself, man, what if I just go today? It would be so much easier. And you just take the instant gratification route because it's just so much easier and comfortable to go to the drive-thru rather than going back, having dinner, because that's the truth. Your emotional guard is lowered, so it's more easy for you to feel impulsed. And it's always when you're in a state of sadness or loneliness or boredom, because you're always just not going to be in the right state of mind. But think about when you're happy. When you're happy, you want to do anything. And it's like, because you're happy, you don't feel easily impulsed by these things because you don't feel the need to eat these things and to watch these things because you're naturally on your own high. So what actually helps kind of remove these urges is actually to think about a moment when you're happy. Think about a happy memory with your friends, your family, or just by yourself. Or another thing you can do is just force yourself to smile. Smiling is contagious, so when you just smile, just for 10 seconds, it automatically just puts your state in the mind in a happy area. So just smile for like 10 seconds. It doesn't have to be unnatural, and then you naturally just feel yourself just feel better. So in order to stay in this path, remind yourself of the consistent commitment you want to build yourself, and especially in the long term. So if you're trying to go for the gym, trying to lose weight, remind yourself of what you'll look like once you leave the gym, as in the results you will get. And don't focus specifically on short term. Focus on the extended result. And to train your willpower, simply all you do is just resist the urge that you have. And the best way to do that, and what I do, is I simply place your favorite chocolate bar and just place it on an area where you work the most. So I work at my desk the most. So I just have this in front of me, just on the desk, and I consistently can see it, but I resist the urge in my mind to eat it because I know that once I take it, my willpower is going to be lost. So even though I'm not really doing anything, I'm consistently training my willpower, making it stronger by resisting the urge to eat the chocolate. And this is how you build your willpower. It's not about completely cutting out the addiction. You need to slowly build the steps to actually train the willpower as a muscle. And then once you get good at it, you just be able to resist things. So don't try cut out your whole addiction at once, because that won't work. Trust me, I've tried it before, and you always relapse, and then you just feel bad about yourself. And then it just continues in a negative feedback loop. And so yeah, the best thing to do is just see how much you're consuming at the moment. Say you have 3 bars this week. Next week, just try aim for 2. And just stick to 2 as long as you can, and then once you feel like you can take off 1, and then slowly take it down. The main point is just putting the small steps and effort to actually reduce it in the long term. We're not trying to make the most gains in the short term, but for the future. So yeah, this is being the slowly action step today is to find your favorite chocolate bar, place it in front of wherever you work, and actively don't eat the chocolate bar. If you really feel the urge to eat it, just go for it. But just know that in the long term, we're just trying to reduce it slowly. So don't worry too much. See you at the top, guys.